In my last videos, we looked at why many organisations and leaders are finding adoptive, effective new ways of working hard work. In my work with individuals and organisations, I've noticed that strange patterns are starting to emerge. First, the attempts to adopt new ways of working are triggering what seems to be an allergic reaction with organisations and their leaders. And second, in the much talked about Great Resignation, something bigger is at play. People are rejecting entire industries, not just the organisation they work for. In these videos, I want to take a step back and look at a question that has been on my mind for a number of years, but which the impact of the pandemic has made front page issue. Why are certain outdated cultural norms so sticky across industries in ways that are so similar? Why is it so hard to shift some cultural norms when every rational reason makes change seem like a no-brainer? The elephant in the room is that organisations are not autonomous. They are part of a bigger system. Norms that are universal across an industry are silently but powerfully woven into the DNA of each organisation within that industry. Change initiatives that conflict with widely held but silent industry beliefs and behaviours are unlikely to succeed. Challenging industry norms, however rational and beneficial to both the organisation and the individuals within the organisation such change would be, are likely to trigger an unconscious allergic reaction within the individuals who perversely would personally benefit from the cultural shifts on offer. This in part explains why change at the organisational level can generate seemingly illogical pushback and resistance from individuals. Deviating from the industry-wide behaviours just feels plain wrong. Change in an environment, a team or wider organisation, is something we think we understand and we think we have some degree of control over, and yet even delivering change where we have control is hard enough. I think we focus on the organisation and ignore the wider power of industry norms because the size and scale of thinking about the industry as a whole is overwhelming, and to factor in the effect on the industry ecosystem into our change plans just feels too hard to do. The organisation is a conceptual level we think we understand and are comfortable operating at. In business schools, we study organisational behaviour. Organisational consultants and psychologists help organisations and their leaders make sense of the culture they operate in. Indeed, I'm one of those helpful people. But what if we take a step back and attempt to take in the wider context, the systems in which organisations operate? What can we learn by contemplating the wider industry context? What truths and surprises may become apparent? Exploring these questions might feel like they fit into the too hard to do box, but we can't ignore the power of industry-wide cultural norms for two reasons. First, it helps explain why well-meant and well-resourced change initiatives, especially in the ED&I space, never really get going and deliver their hoped-for and much-needed impact. Second, it sheds a light on the vice-like grip that these industry-wide sticky norms have on individuals within organisations, and why they reject positive and personally beneficial change and stick with a seemingly out-of-date status quo. As part of unpacking the silent influence of industry norms on organisational culture, I've identified three areas to focus on. First, what is happening beyond our organisational culture that is being driven from wider systemic norms and expectations? What is the power of the industry having on the culture of the organisation? Second, why does this matter? Many organisations' cultures are influenced by industry cultural norms to demand an unspoken and unchallenged conformity. This accidentally locks in a limited set of working behaviours that the culture tolerates and rewards. Deviation from these behaviours triggers defensive behaviours from those who benefit economically and professionally from conforming, and guilt in those individuals who believe that to be successful, these norms must be conformed to, and if they fail to conform, they don't deserve to be successful. This is one of the reasons why ED&I initiatives that look to accommodate and reward different ways of working can flounder. Third, how to deliver change. Change is not an exclusively internal process to an organisation. To break the influence of industry-wide cultural norms on individuals, external stakeholders, such as clients or competitor companies, need to play their part too. By actively thinking about the bigger picture, the industry picture, seemingly hard change will become far easier to unlock.